everyone. We're here again with another Radio Cultural show. And today we're here with Alex Goss, who is with the Guelph Wellington Local Immigration Partnership. And we want to welcome Alex today.
Thank you.
Okay. So please tell us about the Local Immigration Partnership and what is your role in the organization?
So the Local Immigration Partnership, there are currently over 30 local immigration partnerships across Ontario, and we tend to call them the LIPs, L-I-P, so I'm probably going to use LIP a lot for the rest of this conversation. And the LIP is funded through the Government of Canada, Citizenship and Immigration Canada, and it's currently hosted with the City of Guelph. So the LIP essentially is a group of community partners that have come together to look at how can we improve conditions for immigrants when they come to Guelph and Wellington County. So how can we make sure they're more included economically and socially? And I mean, I think this work is very important to Guelph and the county. We're starting to see some increases in immigration over the last few years into the area. And as Goss population gets a little bit older, we're probably going to see that trend increasing, and we're going to see more need for immigration into the area. So currently immigrants make up about 21% of the population in the city of Guelph, and we see about 800 newcomers that move to Guelph every year. So that's a substantial population coming into our community. And what we need to think about is, how can we make sure that immigrants have what they need to thrive in the community, and the LIP is really there to take action collectively to help with that. So I'm the project manager with the LIP here, and I'm a City of Guelph employee because I mentioned the city is hosting the LIP, and we have a team of about 4 people that are working on this project. The project is really community driven, so we're looking to community partners to come together, work together, and create new programs, new initiatives. And really the role of the staff and my role is to help support and coordinate those community partners in leading the LIP. And really we have over 60 community partners at the moment. So I mentioned that we have a small team of 4 staff. So that includes myself as the project manager. There's also Rodrigo Goller, who's the project specialist on the project. He's the one who's out in the community a lot, so you might see him around. And then we also have some part-time staff, an administrative position, who's Serena Tene, and our bookkeeper, who's Kim Brown. So it's the 4 of us really working together on this project. And I wanted to give you just a little bit of history about the project and talk a bit more about some of our goals as well. So the project started in 2009, and really for the better part of 2010, the project was really focused on doing research and doing community consultations. And through that, I think we connected with over 400 people in the community and talked about what are some of the issues facing immigrants. How can we help address some of those issues? How can we fill some gaps in services or programs that are out there? And so we've now come out of that phase with a strategy of what actions do we need to take that can actually address those issues. And now we're in the process of let's take that action. Let's implement some of these ideas. So we're looking at 4 priority areas. We're looking at employment. We're looking at English language training, community programs and services, and community inclusion and integration. And so a lot of the work that we're doing, fits into some of those priorities. So are immigrants able to find work that matches their skills and experiences? Do they have the language skills needed to find work? Do they have access to programs and services that they need? And do they feel welcome and included in their community? And so that really kind of covers off the goals that we're looking at over the next year and a half. The project wraps up in 2013. And over that period of time, we're really looking at re-engaging the community, connecting with businesses, connecting with newcomers, connecting with Canadian-born residents, and trying to get a sense of better idea of what ideas do they have, what aspirations do they have around immigration issues.
Okay, it's quite good to know that, Guelph, Wellington does have a local immigration partnership. I believe you said that they're 21?
Over 30, yeah.
Over 30? And is that within Canada or in Ontario?
That's within Ontario. Currently, it's an agreement between the federal government and the provincial government.
Okay.
And each of the local immigration partnerships are looking at local strategies to address local needs that might be unique to that community.
Right. So it's great that Guelph Wellington has realized that we need certain strategies, ways of making the newcomers to Guelph, happy and settled, and to encourage immigration into Guelph. So that's great. You're doing great work.
Thanks.
And so let's find out a little bit about you. Your background and why did you join the organization?
Mm-hmm. I guess coming from this a bit academically in some ways. So I'm actually a University of Guelph alumni from class of 2003. And I also completed a master's degree in environmental studies at York University about 4 years ago. So my focus kind of academically has always been around community engagement, community development issues, looking locally but also looking at international development issues. And outside of that, I've been doing a lot of work in the community around arts, around activism and advocacy kind of work, and doing some consulting work as well in Halifax. I did some in Mexico and did some in Toronto. And then I just moved back to Guelph actually in 2010. So it's nice to be back. And so I became a project manager with the local immigration partnership in April of this year. And that comes after I'd worked on a few other local immigration partnerships in Ontario. So I mentioned there's over 30, and I've worked on about 6 of those in total, mostly in a consulting capacity. So this position really offered me a chance to reconnect with Guelph, which I've wanted to do, but also continue to work on some immigration issues locally, and to also be able to connect with and engage with the community directly as well.
Okay. We looked at the website, and maybe you can tell us what the website of the Guelph Wellington LIP is. And there's a declaration of intent posted. Can you tell us what this is about?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can feel free to go online yourself and check it out. It's just Guelph Wellington, all one word, or Guelph Wellington LIP, LIP. So all one word .ca. And you can also Google search for the Guelph Wellington Local Immigration Partnership. You'll find it there. And the Declaration of Intent is really a document that we've asked organizations and individuals in Guelph and Wellington to sign. And it's a statement that says that you agree with the strategy of the LIP, that it makes sense to further include and integrate immigrants economically and socially. But it's also essentially a commitment from yourself or from your organization that says you're going to work towards achieving these goals in the work that you do. And so the mayor of Guelph, Mayor Karen Farbridge, was the first to sign the Declaration of Intent back in March. And since then, we've had dozens of other organizations and individuals make that commitment as well. So really, it's a simple task, but it's a strong statement, I think, about your support for immigrants in the community and your support for changes in the community to better support them. So yeah, if you're interested, again, it's guelphwellingtonlip.ca is the website, and you can get that to us either by scanning and emailing through the website, or you can fax it to us, and I'll give you the number. It's 519-763-9240. So you can fax it in to us there as well.
You
So it's great that the city of Guelph realized that we need strategies to encourage newcomers to Guelph, and when we do encourage or attract those newcomers to Guelph, that we help in their settlement and adjustment to life here. And I believe that the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance played a role in that. So maybe you can tell us about the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance and the relationship with the local immigration partnership.
Sure. So I think I'll start just by explaining a bit what the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance is. Essentially, it's a group of people that are also concerned about inclusion issues for diverse communities in Guelph. And we work fairly closely with the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance on a regular basis. And essentially they're what they like to call a community of practice, which is they meet monthly, regularly, to discuss inclusion issues and to look for ways to increase information for newcomers, increase collaboration between organizations, address employment issues, and educate people about needs and issues relating to racism, and improve settlement for newcomers overall. So they actually have a very similar vision to the LIP, right? That they're hoping that people are able to thrive and participate fully in the community, which is essentially what the LIP wants as well. The difference is the LIP is a little more focused on action to develop new initiatives, new programs to support newcomers, where the GIA is looking at creating and sharing information to address some of the issues, but also to create change internally in people's organizations as well. So the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance was one of the initiators of the LIP, that they actually went to the city to say that this would be something that would be really important for our community, is to have a local immigration partnership working on immigration issues. So they were involved right from the beginning, and we've tried to maintain those connections. So they have a member that sits on as one of our community partners. So they have a few members actually. And then we have staff that support the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance. We help out with their meetings and take minutes and that sort of thing. So we've remained fairly connected and working on similar issues.
It's great to know that we have that kind of body in Guelph who sit as a group to decide what are the changes that are important and to ensure that they're implemented, because I know we can talk all we want, but we need to have those people who approach organizations and impress upon the importance of safe spaces for new immigrants, and to help them with employment and so to help them find jobs, help them with their English, English as a second language, or cut this. Start. Yeah.
So if you would like to get more information about the Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance, you can actually go on to our website, so guelphwellingtonlip.ca, and there's a tab there for GIA, Guelph Inclusiveness Alliance, and they have some contact information there as well, and a bit more information about the organization.
Okay, thanks for that. And at this time, you can tell us what the actions are that LIP are taking with regards to immigration.
Mm-hmm. So we have about 7 action teams at the moment who are formed by various groups of people from, again, various backgrounds, and some individuals, some organizations, some businesses, and they're all working on different initiatives and programs. So it's very exciting at the moment. They just started work really back in August, so they've been going at it a month already. A lot's happening, lots of people out in the community doing this work already. So I'm going to go through some of the action teams maybe and let people know what they're about, and if you're interested, I'll let you know how you might be able to help out afterwards. So there's one that's around English language training, and that action team is looking at developing an employment-related English language training that was identified as an area that needed more service in for immigrants. So that would be language training programs that would maybe go a bit beyond just a regular language training to focus more on job-specific kind of vocabulary and usage. But we're also looking at how do we bring English language training to people, that we had identified that transportation was a barrier to access, and so we're looking at how do we then address that barrier. Is it transportation, or is it that we take the services out to people? So that's what that action team is looking at. We also have an action team that's looking at networking between newcomers and employers. They're looking at how do we pull together employers and newcomers? How do we keep newcomers informed of employment requirements, of issues of workplace culture and those kind of softer skills that might be needed, and how do we then bring those people together? We also have an action team that's looking at promoting diversity, and specifically promoting diversity in the workplace. So we're looking at developing a marketing strategy that talks about the benefits, the mutual benefits of hiring, working with newcomers, and that kind of builds on some of the good work that's already happening in the community around that. And we're also looking to promote some newcomer success stories. So what are some things that have worked well for immigrants coming to the community, and let's share those stories. Let's talk about some of the things that have worked well. There's also an action team that's working on employment support programs, so developing new programs, new initiatives around mentorship, around bridging, job shadowing, and practice firms. And practice firms, for those that don't know, is really kind of a mock business that's set up, and people are hired into that business as kind of a training experience, and they work a position for upwards of 3 months, volunteer, but you're at the same time you're gaining that on the job kind of experience. So we're looking at are there opportunities for these kinds of programs to come to Guelph and Wellington, and if so, let's make that happen. There's also a group formed around better information around employment opportunities. So there's a lot of job search kind of websites out there already, but there aren't a lot of websites that point you to certain issues that you might face when you're looking for a job, that kind of talk to you about what are those realistic employment opportunities. Do you need certain credentials? And if so, how do you connect with a professional association that can help get you those credentials and that sort of thing? We're also looking at getting better information out to the community, out to immigrants, around a community information portal. So again, not just the contact information of organizations, but some of the context piece around that. So if you have questions about the education system, you'd be able to go there, and it would talk about how you apply for university here, or how you enroll your children in school, and the process to go through that, and the contact information as well. And then we're also looking at supporting language interpretation. So there are a few different language and cultural interpreter programs in the city of Guelph, and we're looking at how do we better support those programs? What are any gaps that we might need to help fill? So that's a lot that I just went through right there. There's a lot happening all at one time. And we have a lot of people involved, but we do need some more support. So again, if you are interested, I would encourage you to get on the website, get some more information. But you can also feel free to email me. My email address is alex.goss, Goss, at guelph.ca. And so you can feel free to get in touch with me if you have more questions, or if you want to participate in one of these teams.
Okay, well, thank you, Alex, for laying out all the information about the Guelph Wellington Local Immigration Partnership, or the Guelph Wellington LIP. And we do appreciate your time here today. If you do want to get involved, Alex's contact information again is alex.goss@guelph.ca, and the website is guelphwellingtonlip.ca. I do hope that you would take the opportunity to get involved. There are many different action teams with many different pieces. So, there's things around employment or language or so things around employment, language, or provision of information in terms of the community information portal. So there's lots of things to be involved with, and I hope that you can use your expertise to help out new immigrants here to life in Guelph. So thank you again, Alex, for coming today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Okay, and stay tuned for another show next week.
In a fishing town in the Gaspésie, spent my afternoons in a maple tree. Those were lazy days when I was young and free. It was everything I could ever need. Camp and played hockey, never batted an eye. When the ground froze, ran straight to the yard and grabbed a garden hose. And every time I'd wander away, it wouldn't be long till I'd say, I set out in the world, seen the prairies and northern lights shine, the grand BC forests and the sands of PEI, and I choose this land as my home, the only place in the world for this small town Canadian girl. Love summer bonfires and my winter sled, diving in those leaves by the backyard shed. When I was overseas, riding railroad tracks, had a maple leaf on my old backpack. And every time I'd wander away, it wouldn't be long till I'd say that I am a Canadian girl from Atlantic shores. I set out in the world, seen the prairies and northern lights shine, the grand BC forests and the sands of PEI, and I choose this land as my home, the only place in the world for this small town Canadian girl. I am a Canadian girl from Atlantic shores. I set out in the world, seen the prairies and northern lights shine, the grand BC forests and the sands of PEI, and I choose this land as my home, the only place in the world for this small town Canadian